Thank you to you wonderful subscribers to the channel. Now I've been asked how easy it is to do a spot the difference book. And to be honest with you, it's really easy. And especially using Canva, free version or premium version, it really makes little difference. You obviously have more of a choice of items in the premium version for doing this, but you can do it either way. The first thing we do is create a size. Now we'll be working with 8.5 inch by 8.5 inch, but we'll allow for the bleed. So we want 8.625 on the width, and we need to make sure we're in inches first. 8.625 on the width and 8.75 on the height, and create a new design. Now ideally we're going to want about 30 to 36 pages for this. It's not a massive book. The colour adds weight to it as well, so it sort of thickens it up a little bit. If we just add page until we've got 32. I'll tell you what, we'll split the difference between 32 and 36 and we'll go with 34. You can always add more pages to it in the future if you wanted to, if you found that it wasn't going to cost you any more to do. I've done that myself when somebody's actually commented and asked, great book, I wish there was a few more pages. So I've added 25% to that particular book at no extra cost to me. So, and I still get the same royalties. That's just how it worked with the print costs and distribution through Amazon. It is 34 pages. Now because of the way Spot the Difference is set up, this first page on the right hand side is going to have to be the title page. So let's just say we put a title in here and we'll call it Summer Fun Spot the Difference. Okay, so we'll get that right up here. Give it an effect. That'll do. Might as well put a real photo in here. We'll put beach. If we go to free, apply filters, and let's have a little look. I like that one. Page 2 is the left hand side of the page. So let's bring in an image. Now I've gone to free pick. I also use Vecteezy, and there's lots and lots of other sites to use, and it shows you here which ones are premium and which ones aren't. Now I go to vectors, free vectors. You can go, and if we type in beach, and we can have a little scroll through here. These are the free images. Now this is quite a good one because there's a lot of elements here. So I'll download that. We'll save that in a file. You want the Jpeg version, and I've called that file Summer Fun, and we'll put 1 for that. We'll go back to the page. So we'll upload that one we've just downloaded and we'll place it on here. We'll just drag it into position. That way it's going to fill up the same. Now we can just duplicate that page if we wanted to, and that's always an option. But for this tutorial, we're just going to drag the image again. So then what do we do? Okay, we've got our first 2 pages here. This is where it starts to get a little tricky, but not too tricky. We're going to put a little element here, and it's going to be a little banner, and we'll put that at the top. We'll let the background choose the colour. So what I mean by let the background choose the image, if we go back up to the top here and I choose the square, it'll give me a blue because it's picking colour from the background. So which is why it's picked purple from this background. It's the colour that most suits this background, and we'll keep it at that. Now we want to add the text. So we'll put in here, find 6 differences. Okay, we don't want it too big, and we want to keep it off the bottom a bit in case it gets cut off. And that'll do. We can just give that a different colour. So we can give it a sandy colour if we want. And the reason we were given that choice was because the image in the background is giving us all these choices. We can have different colours if we want. The blue, the beige, or just go for white. But as it is, I like the idea of going with a colour that suits that page. We've got to add things, so let's go for elements, and we'll go for beach ball. And we want to look at the same type of image quality that this is. It's almost like a pastel-y kind of colour, but quite dark. And that's a pro image, but if I go for that one, or that one even, that's a freebie. So we can put that anywhere like that, or even over here out of the way. So you can see how we're going to build up these images, and they're going to be compared with, that's the left-hand side, they're going to be compared with the right-hand side. Now it'll pay to actually write these down on a piece of paper, like beach ball far right of the page, for instance, because you can actually forget how many you've done and where they are yourself. And if you put one too many or not enough, yeah, you'll be told about it. Now let me just double check this, because the page is quite a big page and we might be able to get away. Yeah, I'll bring it down to the line there, and I'll bring that down closer to the line so it's just above. So that is sat inside the box area. At least it gives us something to work with when we do all the others. Right, okay, so we've got a beach ball in there. Maybe we should put something in here. So what about a starfish? Try to find something that looks something like these. Yeah, that'll do. And it's, of course, it's a freebie. I'm working with all the free elements here. So straight away between these two pages, we've got two differences. Now, when it comes to actually creating the result, I would have to put a little circle here, even though there's nothing there, because there is actually something here on the opposite page. So that's a difference. So what about a flip-flop? Let's go. So we'll have them, make them look like they're sort of on the mat there. Okay, so we've got now, I forgot myself. We've got a beach ball, a starfish, and the flip-flops. Let's go back up to this one and do another one here. What about some sunglasses? And I can change the filters here to free, so we only get the free, apply filters, and actually I'll go with them. And we'll have them next to those. Now, that's 4 items already. Now, it's quite possible to remove one of these that are actually in the image. And I'll show you what I mean. If I pick an element and I go for the circle, say, and I shrink it right down, and I change the colour to one of the background images, which is the photo colours here, and it's the sand. I'm going to go to this one here, and I'm going to see if I can lighten it. So there's a stone. Now you can play about with that image. You can zoom in a bit more and try to get that exactly right so that you can basically remove that image. So now we've got 5, and now we need one more. So look at that, photographs there. So we'll put them here actually. Let's have a little look. I think what we'll do is we'll just have these and we'll add them here. Right, now we've got the first couple of pages, but what are we going to do now? We need answers. So if we go down to the 34th page, we're looking at having 16 answers because there's 16 lots of pages. So if I go up to 32, I've really got to work this out because and just double check. So we go all the way back up to the top. If I count the pages, 16 images will take us to 33. It's always worth checking because although I've got 34 here, 16 double-side spot the difference images, almost identical images, takes us to 33. The 32 and 33 will be our last one. That's 16, which only leaves us with one more page. And we need 3 pages to do the answers in. So I'm going to add 2 more pages. That'll take us to 36, which is what we talked about in the beginning. Right, okay, so now we've got that sorted. So that's why it's always worth double checking your pages and where your images are going to finish. So how do we get the answers? We click on the image of the first one and we drag it about, hold the mouse, left mouse down, and we drag it about until it hits the crosshair in the middle here. And then we drag it in. So it's well inside that box that just shaped then. We could even go lower than that if we wanted to, just to allow for some text above. Because don't forget this is an 8.5 inch by 8.5 inch page. So it's a decent sized page. So they're going to be able to see the answers. So that's now in the crosshair there. And we want text. So we go to text, add the text, and we're going to call it 1. Because this is image 1, or spot the difference, puzzle 1. So we put that there in the center of the image. Now we want to put all the answers in. So we're going to need to zoom right in, and we're going to pick a circle. And we want quite a thick circle. But let's have a look at the size of that when I scale that down. Well, that's okay. We would better colour than that. So if I go with this and just make it a little bit darker, a lot darker, and there's another starfish there, so I can make that a little bit smaller. Copy, paste, that rock's missing, paste, there's another pair of sunglasses there, paste, there's a beach ball here, and there's photographs there, and paste, there's flip-flops missing from there. So all they have to do is they look now at these and they go, well, what was there? And they look at the images, they match them up and say, oh, there was 2 starfish. And that sort of adds more to the puzzle. And what about another image? So we download another image, and that's it really. Ideally, we'll put 1. Find 6 differences. Now we know that's puzzle 1, and the answers are puzzle 1. So we pick another image for the next section. So I've just downloaded one now to give you an idea on something. And we drag that into position. And we drag it into position on the other page. Now, yeah, you can see how close these are to the edges. So I'm going to show you something. First of all, we copy this and we put it down on the first page of that puzzle. And the colour, we'll be able to pick from these colours here, photo colours. Green's not so bad, so we'll have that. We copy the text. Don't just try to make a new box because it'll be different size. If you just copy and paste, it puts it in the right place and the right size. So we use these colours again. I'll go with that one. And this will be puzzle 2. And put 4. Well, you know, ideally you want them to play for a little while. Now what you've got here is everything's too close to the edges. So double click, detach from the background and drag it about a bit. So you know you're getting close to the edge, but not too close. Maybe about a centimetre away from the edges, and send to the back. Now that's better. So I can actually use things in this area now. Because if you're too close to the edge, people will wonder if it's been cut off, whatever the answer was. At least this way, all they've got on this image is maybe something down here might be missing. Now, this one obviously is different. You have to delete that, copy that, and paste it, and it'll end up in exactly the same spot as the one above. And that's that. You make your differences, come down to the bottom, click on that image, put it next to that one, and pull it down until it meets the same size, and then copy that and paste it. Get it to the center and change it to a 2. And that's the answers for 2. What you've got to do is make some differences and then circle the answers. Now to get it on the next page so that everything's identical here, you'd copy that, for instance, and you'd paste it. And that'll land exactly where you need it to be in that crosshair. And the same with the text, and you'll put it there. Paste. And you'll do that with all of them. Then when you get a new image, you'll be able to drag it in and drag it across, and it'll just slot straight into position. And you can put your answers on there then. So that's how easy it is. From there, you've got to fill out all your spaces, or your 16 answers, or however many answers and puzzles you want. Download as a PDF print. There it is. And there's your book. What you've got to do then is make your cover. There's plenty of information on this page about covers. I'll share a link with that. There's also plenty of information on filling your description in, HTML, your title, keywords, everything's here that you need. So, yeah, give it a go.